Para mí es un gusto darle la bienvenida al ingeniero Diego Rojas. Es uno de nuestros embajadores, Escuela Colombiana de Ingeniería, de sus graduados de la escuela que dejan grande el nombre de nuestra universidad a lo largo y ancho del mundo. Diego Rojas es ingeniero senior en Salesforce, especialista en soluciones de datos e inteligencia artificial aplicadas a la gestión del cliente. Su experiencia integra arquitecturas de datos, ingeniería en la nube y el diseño de soluciones centradas en el ser humano, permitiendo que organizaciones globales transformen datos complejos en acciones de negocio inteligentes. Su trabajo se destaca por su enfoque pragmático, impacto medible y capacidad para articular tecnología, estrategia y experiencia de usuario. Diego, reciba muy buenas tardes desde Colombia.
Como graduado de la universidad, es un gusto presentar aquí. Esta presentación es con la herramienta con la que yo trabajo. Voy a hacer la presentación en inglés porque sé que hay una audiencia también internacional que desea saber cómo nosotros vamos a aplicar la inteligencia artificial. Y bueno, entonces voy a empezar la presentación en inglés a partir de este momento. This presentation is related to Salesforce Data Cloud, from data chaos to intelligent customer action. And of course, before I continue with this presentation, a small disclaimer. All the information, all the resources that I'm going to share here are based on the Salesforce official documentation and its Academy Trailhead. Why I'm telling this? Because when the latest trends, how fast is growing AI, the speed of the development of those technologies, it's really important to go directly to the sources and not looking to official documentation that maybe doesn't interpret well the information or maybe is not updated. So always my recommendation is go to the source and having a confirmation about the capacities of the AI and all the technologies that are available. A little bit about me. Wilmer already did a great introduction. Just a small recap. In my case, I'm working for Capgemini in Netherlands. I hold 21 Salesforce certification. 2 of them are related to data, especially data cloud, Agentforce. I will explain those topics later on my presentation. With the Trailhead Academy, I have the rank of Trailhead Ranger and father of 2 small children, and as Wilmer mentioned, for former ECI systems engineer. Below you will find all my contact details. About Capgemini and Salesforce. I work for Capgemini. Capgemini is a partner, and as a partner, what we do is to help companies to leverage Salesforce on implement their solutions. The companies, they have goals, they have as well problems, they have their vision. What we do is with the tools that they have, help them to achieve the results. In my case, with data, what we help is to discover the potential of the data, unify the view of their customer. They have data in many places. We help them to unify their data. And finally, we help with the transition and the implementation of AI with data and human interaction. Always there is a gap, there is a challenge. We help on that. And at the end, all the systems that we build are for humans. So there are some responsibilities that are for humans, other for AI, and we help them to define those responsibilities and how they can leverage each other. The agenda for today, we are going to speak about what is data chaos and how can we convert that into action. Some key terminology to understand about how was built that solution. the workflow, how we are going to solve this challenge. Some use cases are at the end a demo. So let's go on to the first slide about the presentation, and this is about data chaos. And what I'm showing here are some phrases that we heard from our clients, from our customers. And I will read some quotes. They say, for instance, I spend more time reconciling reports than actually using them. Data is scattered everywhere, but we are still missing real insights. Or which system has the most up-to-date customer information? I need to know it now. All those topics are based on data and different systems that are across their entire organizations. They spend a lot of time reconciling all that information, the reports, doing all those operational work. And as the information is not static, is continue growing, is continue feeding the system, updating, they start with the lack of trust. Is actually the data is up to date, is worthy to review, to take a look, and there is a lot of lack of trust, fragmentation. There are systems that are specialized on finance, specialized on sales, service, but at the end, when they need to review, okay, which one is the source of truth, then they have struggles, especially knowing the customer. And alignment is how they are going to serve better to the customer. And I will share my example in the Netherlands. I can have different services. Some services assume that I am Dutch speaker, but actually I wanted this to speak in English, right? And some of them know my language or know my preference. They can communicate, others not, and is a lack of consistent user experience and a lack of alignment, or what are the preference of the user and what is expected. So we heard a lot of topics: fragmentation, working on silos, governance pain. All those things create extra work. And the moment that we need to take decisions over the data or deliver a great user experience is really a challenge. And this is where data chaos comes from. So now I'm going to explain the topics, okay, and the definitions. It's really important to understand the definitions. I'm going to start with Salesforce. What is Salesforce? Salesforce is a CRM platform, custom relationship management platform. It was created in 1999. And what it does is a platform that holds different services related to customer, such as sales, service, marketing, and it handles all the operations that a company has with the customer. Let's say a customer purchase an auto, or purchase some clothes, or purchase a service. In that case, Salesforce will handle all the customer relationship management. Then we have Data Cloud, and you will see now the logo of Data 360. Data Cloud started in the 2022, and this month was renamed to Data 360. So you will see often that I spoke about Data Cloud, Data 360 are exactly the same. What it does, the Data 360, is that a data system where all the data that is across the organization this system will unify the data, will do the reconciliation, will create a unified profile of my customer, and will deliver some analytics over the data, some governance, and of course will take action on the data. And finally, we have Agentforce. Agentforce was launched on 2024, new brand product. What it does is a framework for create AI agents, and they operate over all the Salesforce platform. And we saw it in previous presentations that the engine that powers the AI agents is data, right? In this case, the engine behind Agentforce is Data 360. So we saw some key concepts that where we have customer relationship management, data, marketing, analytics, products. The CRMs, what they do is that handles the transaction, right? All the things that are related to the operations, such as sales. I want to sell a product, I want to sell a service. In healthcare, what I do is give a service. Other times I need to do a request or a complaint. So Salesforce or other CRM, they handle all the kind of operational data. But what about behavior, right? What are all the transactions? What are the preferences of that user? Is not handled by those CRM. So this is where data cloud or data 360 comes into place and fills that gap. Finally, we see a comparison between the three key terminologies that we're going to see through the presentation. So Salesforce CRM applications. There are Salesforce as a platform holds different applications, can be on the cloud, can be on mobile, and are related to customer engagement, and operates on Salesforce orgs. When they say Salesforce orgs are URLs, websites that are on the cloud. Data cloud system unifies all the data, not only from Salesforce, but from other systems. We are going to see that later, and can run inside as Salesforce org or can be run outside. That depends on the complexity of the org and of the architecture of the solution. And finally, Agentforce, what it does is the framework to build autonomous AI agents and can create multi-step tasks, and is embedded across the Salesforce app. It means that if we have a sales applications in Salesforce, we can have our agent in that application, but if we have Experience Cloud that is for portals, also we can embed our agent as well. Or if we are using Slack, we can embed our agent because it's on the Salesforce platform. Here we have the relation between the three of them. So in the middle, we have Customer 360. This is Salesforce. And we saw some of the products. The main products are sales and service. Then we have marketing. And then with the time, they were acquiring more products and creating more products. They acquired Slack. They have industries. They acquired Tableau. And it's continually growing, continuously evolving. With those applications, or agents helps or are embedded in all those solutions. So for instance, in service, they are AI agents that helps with requests or with complaints, or with knowledge articles. In case that someone has a doubt about a service, those agents can help with those tasks. In case of marketing, they can help with create campaigns for a specific audience. In case of sales, they can make suggestions about how to close a deal or how to retain a customer. So there are different applications, and below that is the data cloud and the trust layer. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what is that trust layer. Here we have the CRM applications. We have the Instant Copilot, is the same terminology that Agentforce. And a user or even a system can request a service. There will be a prompt with that request. What Salesforce does, and is in the instant trust layer, is that it will retrieve the data, but in a secure form. And what I mean by a secure form is that it will retrieve data that they are authorized. Okay, it means that you have your identification number or the number of your passport or your medical information. There are guardrails that protect that data, and after the retrieved data that is secure for using, it will be a dynamic grounding. And what I mean dynamic grounding is that it will take the information that we need for solve the request. So I will explain this in simple terms. Let's illustrate that. I think that this example will be good. We have a building that we want to do with bricks, and if we want to have an exact replica of that building, we need to have the colors, we have to have the shapes, the windows, all the architecture design of that building. What does dynamic grounding is grab all the right materials or the right colors, the right shapes that is needed. Without this information, the answer would not have the quality that is expected. So what we are doing here with Salesforce is retrieving that information. Also, we saw here the rack, or I think that the previous presentations or during the event, we saw a lot of the retrieval augment generation. In Salesforce, indeed, what we do is the structured data, we retrieve the information, such as images, videos, PDF, that can be stored in a vector, and also can be used to give a context to the LLM. The LLM finally is the architecture that will make the build and will make the building based on what is expected from the company. Data masking, what it's going to do is that it will mask sensible data. Let's say that we want to mask the name of that person who did the request of the building. So this is what data masking comes from. And then we are going to deliver all this information, not only the prompt, we are going to deliver the prompt plus the data, the material that they need, the bricks that they need to make the building. And then the models that are the architect will start making the building. In case of enterprises, the data that it needs are the information stored in the structured data, tables, semi-structured data, JSONs, XMLs, unstructured data, emails, videos, PDF, and then when we start resolving the request, it will deliver a response. And with zero data retention, we are making sure that those models will not store the information that they receive. So there will not be retention. It means that that architect will build the building, will deliver the building, and he will forgot what he received, which materials and everything else. Same with industries. They will receive the PDF, the image, the structure data. There will not be data retained by the models, and after that, the translator will demask the data. Let's say now is the name of the person who ordered the building, or the person who did the request, or all the sensitive information. Then we are going to review the toxicity detection. It means that if the content is not harmful for the user, and all these kind of categories. At the end will be again a audit trail and a feedback according to the rules and policies of the organization, right? So it should be a standard way to deliver the information. It should have the quality that we are expecting. And in that case, then the answer is delivered to the agent, and the response will be delivered. So this is how we quarantine quality. We quarantine that the information is not lost or can be leaked or compromised. Right? Is something that is pretty good on handled by Salesforce. This is the workflow on Data Cloud. So there is a connection. We need to connect Data Cloud to different systems. On the left side, we have the data systems that are available connections as CRM, as cloud storage, not only Salesforce product, but also we can have Amazon, Google, Microsoft Azure. We will see that later in our demo. Data lakes, it's also possible. Mobile web, APIs, in case that we have systems on premise that are really hard to get that information from those places. We can create our APIs and we can retrieve the information that we need. So it's very flexible on that sense. Data Cloud has some out of the box connectors. With that, with those connectors, will bring that information to their environment, and then we'll start to harmonizing the data. And what is harmonize? Organize the information, doing the mapping with the model that the organization has or that the Salesforce provides, and it will start to doing an identity resolution. Identity resolution, we'll see it also later. And what we're going to have is a single source of truth of the user. And with this information, with all this data unified in a single model, then we can have actions, we can have analytics, we can use it for marketing, we can use for different segments that the company needs. All right. Let's start now with data ingestion more in detail. As I mentioned, there are different sources. There are two modes to load the information that are in batch, can be on schedule, and usually is for large data volume transfer. Also is available streaming, and the way that we do streaming is through events, event-driven events. We are going to see that in our demo are the two flavors to do ingestion. We have native connectors, as you mentioned, APIs that can be tailored. And this is an overview of the model that Salesforce provides. I'm not going to go into the details of the model, but my message here is that is not only the customer information that will be stored in Data Cloud, is all about their behavior, right? How is the story of purchases, about the privacy for marketing, how is the engagement with the products, how is the engagement with sales, how is the behavior of that customer during the years. And this model is pretty robust to handle all this logic. The moment that we ingest the data, we are going to harmonize, and there are different stages. When we harmonize, we are going also to clean the data. What means we clean? Maybe data that is duplicate, that is incomplete. Then through data cloud, having different sources, we can enhance that data and make the quality that we need. We can organize the data with the data model that is defined for the organization, and then we can start to doing the mapping, right? Doing the mapping of what it means, the customer name, how we are going to define which email will be used for marketing, which address will be using for sales, and so on. In case there are conflicts with the data, we can have some rules, and those rules will be handled on identity resolution. And we see here on the right side some examples of how they handle the identity resolution. In case that they have an identification number in one place, they can have an account ID in another system, but at the end I will know that the individual is the same person. With all this data, what you and having a unified profile, what is possible is taking actions. What are the actions? The actions can be send a notification to another system about anomaly that happens with the data, or even if there is a request about a service, it can communicate with each different parties and act independently. We saw that with Agentforce, it can handle tasks, right? But which kind of tasks? Are tasks that can be performed by automation or an agent if it's really complex. Let's say that a client requests the status of a product. That product can have different stages, can be in the warehouse, can be in is ready for shipment, or is pending for approval, or and the agent is capable to interact with each system, retrieve information, take decision, and inform the customer with an email without supervision to the user. So we have prediction, we have analytics, and we have actions independently, no human supervision. That is a key differentiator that Salesforce has. With Data Cloud, we have also segmentation and activation. And what is that? Is that we can create group of customers that are used for different purposes. Let's take a look at an example on the right. We have a person who has their contact information for service, in case that person requests information about a product or service. We know that we are going to use this email address. But if we are going to offer a product, a service, we are going to use this email address for marketing. If we have commerce and that is a different use cases. Okay, so we know that her address will be delivered to this direction. So all those kind of segments belongs to the same person, and it will tailor to the preference. So going back with my example of in the Netherlands, the moment that I go through a service, they will know my preferences. They will know, okay, which language does this person prefers. What is the best way to communicate to this person, by email, or he prefers to receive a phone call, or he prefers to receive a letter on his house. So they will know the best how to communicate to that person and what is the most effective way to do it. And doing that, it will the user will have a great user experience. Here in this table, we have a comparison between Salesforce and other data tools that are in the ecosystem. I'm not going through the details about this table, but my message here is that what Salesforce has as an advantage is that can offer a real-time integration. They have their metrics in data cloud. The knowledge transfer for these tools is pretty good compared with other products. Why? Because the data cloud is handles a language similar to SQL, and even for the people who works with Salesforce in the products, the SQL language is pretty similar, and there is a lot of point and click solutions for people that are not so technical with queries. Also, they can create their own report, they can create their own alerts, and receive the insights, and also they can interact with the AI agent on this platform to take the actions that they need to do. In this slide, what is kind of the wrap up of what Data 360 does is that it has a single model of the customer. There are some core objects that are the individual, the account, product, but at the end it's pretty robust, can be tailored to the specific needs of the organization. And at the end what it does is that it provides a consistent data, and then all the issues that we saw at the beginning, that we don't trust on the data, that is fragmented, or that is no governance, it solves all those kind of issues and provide unique experience to the user. Now we're going to see some use cases, and this is for marketing. So for marketing, what it does, you will unify the data of the user. Then they will know what is the right profile, how to communicate to the user, how to enrich the data that they need for their campaigns. They will know the preference of the user, and they will deliver a better service, a better conversion rate in the moment that they do campaigns. They can do predictions or on marketing, so they can have better accuracy with the forecast. They can create personalized content based on the behavior, the preference of the user, and will stay compliant and secure. The moment that someone doesn't want to receive notification or doesn't want to receive a certain service, the company will stay compliant on that. And are problems that I saw in organizations, or even when I use some products that I decide, hey, I don't want to receive information about this, and you call the agent or you create a ticket that say to you, yes, you will not receive more information, and then 1 week later is not true, right? Or you cancel a service and they say, no, sir, sorry, but was not canceled. In that case, Data Cloud is pretty secure on all those topics. With sales predictions, we are going to have a 360 view of all the opportunities for that customer. We can suggest actions to increase the purchases or for doing retention. We are going to understand what is the buying and usage patterns of that. We are going to see in a single place all the usage consumption. We are going to recommend best actions for this client. And another benefit is the productivity, not only with insights, but with the manual data entry, right? Sometimes when the business, they need to start filling the information that they need. Now with Data Cloud, all the information that they need from the customer will come from different systems. They will trust in that information, and of course, on this, they will shorten the deal cycles. With service, will be recommendations about service upgrades. The response time for a request, for a complaint, will be faster. The user can monitor exactly what is happening, right, with the request. We know who is the responsible, what is the timing to deliver the information, and the quality of those requests. Also will be consumption insights in case that we have anomalies with the data with a certain system. We can alert the system that something happened, and they can act upon that and on real time. And and as well as previous use cases, we can do predictions, and we can analyze the customer, not only the behavior, but about the sentiment analysis, and improve user satisfaction. All right, we saw a lot of use cases. Now, well, I'm going to show a small demo for the people to experiment what is Data Cloud. Okay, so for this, I'm going to use the browser. Right here is an application that is sales, and with sales we have opportunities. We have different records. What I'm going to do here, can select one of these opportunities. I will see that there is a lot of stages. This opportunity was already won, means that next days will be a contract with that customer. On details, I will see the company, and I will see who is who are the person who are working for that company. So let's take a look of this person. This person has this email, J. Rogers. The moment that I spoke with this person, I found that his name is not Sam, but is Jack. So I'm going to change it. And what I'm doing here is changing some data in my system. And now let's take a look on Data Cloud. So the Data Cloud has connections. In case I need to create a new connection with a system, I can create out of the box with Salesforce, with any service that I have on Salesforce. File upload, in case that I have a file that I want to include. It's also possible. Can be a CSV, something like that. It's also possible. And here I'm going to see the different kind of connections, right? We have here Google, Amazon, IBM, social media, LinkedIn, Microsoft Teams, all kind of out-of-the-box connections to that are ready to connect for Data Cloud. We have data kits and packages. Those are pre-installed configurations that the companies can have, or even the Salesforce partner can provide to help on the mapping of the information. For now, I'm going to select file upload to see how is this. So I'm going to upload a CSV file. And then what I'm going to see here is just static information with names, address, company, and the phone number. And we have the option to select, well, what will be the unique identifier. In this case, I will select email. And I'll click on next. And then I can select where I'm going to store this information. I already did it because that process takes some time. The first time that we make the connection and we do the ingestion. Right now I have two different sources. One is the Salesforce CRM, and now and another is file upload. The moment that that these connections are done, so let's take a look at the file upload. We are going to see the mapping, and the mapping is for the CSV. Pretty simple. The email is connected with the individual ID. This is the out of the box Salesforce data model, and the name with the first name. But if I connect with my sales application and I see the relation, here is more robust. We have different parameters as the birth date, first name, gender opportunity, last name, and so on. So we have same person, different systems, different mappings. The moment that I updated my information in Salesforce with my harmonization, with my identity resolution, all those topics, what they do is create a unified view of the customer, and Salesforce Data Cloud decides that indeed the name that are updated is accurate, and it will notify the system who handles those records that that the name indeed should be changed, and it creates an alert. So this is another application, let's say for Chatter, and a post was created 3 minutes ago alerting that system that the name was changed and what was the prior value. This is a quite overview of what Salesforce has to offer, and all the potential that it has. Okay, so this is about the demo. Finally, what is also key advantage from Salesforce? In the case that people is curious to learn about the tool, how it works. In this URL, they can register and start learning. Also, we have the Trailhead Academy. It's totally free. You register and you can start learning, creating your environment, creating data cloud, creating your agents, and start learning with the tool. All right, that's it for today. Maybe there are questions in our chat.
Diego?
Yes?
Hi, Diego. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Diego, for the presentation. There are some questions, and we have some minutes.
Of course.
Perfect. The first question is, what is the biggest benefit of using Salesforce Data Cloud to organize and unify customer data?
The biggest benefit is that you can have actions. on top of the on top of your data, because we saw that the systems, right? Different systems across the organization. And with all that data, you don't you struggle to take action on that, right? If you want to create a campaign for that
Mhm.
customer, you say, well, that which product should I select, in which season, right? In which circumstances. It's really hard, right? Why? Because you don't know if your product has availability, if your customer desires that service. In this case, you have all the information in one place. You know for sure the history
Mhm.
of that customer, and you can start taking the decision that you need, powered by all the AI. So I would say that is the biggest benefit. There are plenty, but the top one for me is that one.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, what challenges do companies usually face when moving from disconnected data to a single intelligence customer review?
Yes, it's a really great question. Uh, there are there are many, but I will say three. First one is the responsibility of the data. They say, okay, yeah, who will take ownership, right, of feeding the information, or having the right balance between my customer and between my product, is a struggle with that governance. Second part is all the technical debt, many technical debt that creates duplicate data, that they have complex systems that
Mhm.
you need to integrate, and are really hard to trust on this. And the last one is quality, the quality of,
Okay.
of information. Why? We have data, but we don't have guardrails, right? So we can have some address, but how you guarantee that this address meets the standard that the company needs? Are not there. And the moment that we try to implement the
Mhm.
solutions, that fails. As simple as
Okay.
that.
Okay. And the last question is, uh, what is the major difference between Salesforce platform that you show us between the other competitors, for example, Amazon, Azure, Microsoft, and so on?
Yeah, I can tell you the big difference with, and taking the comparison with Copilot. Copilot has the human supervision, right? It's Copilot. It requests approvals
Mhm.
from the human. Salesforce can act independently without human supervision for complex process. It
Okay.
doesn't need it doesn't need help. Use the trust layer, pretty important. Why? Because it guarantee that the data will not be leaked, and they will handle all the transactions with responsibility, with proper delivery of the information, and it's a game changer on that sense.
Ok, Diego. Diego, thank you for your time. Muchísimas gracias, Diego, por el tiempo, por la oportunidad. One
Un
final
gusto.
remark. One final remark. If you have your email address, because maybe some attending participants or some person here in the participants want to contact to Salesforce and so on.
Yeah, of course, of course. I will share then. I don't know, by chat. Is okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Diego, muchas gracias. Mil gracias. Feliz noche por allí en Países Bajos. Muchísimas
Sí,
gracias.
ahora estamos en 0 grados.
Wow.
Eso es bastante, bastante frío hasta ahora. Entonces, por lo tanto, yo ya estaba ya un poco frío a lo último, pero bueno, pues, me agradó mucho pues compartir toda esta información.
No, Diego, es un gusto, ¿verdad? Y muchísimas gracias. Feliz noche por allí en Holanda.
Y bueno, igualmente a todos, un gusto.